The two words that come to mind when I think of Tommy Cannell are professionalism and integrity. Anybody that has been on the court or been in any circumstance with Tommy knows what a gentleman he is, how he carries himself on and off the court, the ultimate competitor, but highly professional. Sportsmanship is very important to him and his family, and it is evidenced by how he carries himself. Tommy's worn a lot of hats in the tennis industry. I'm not exactly sure what kind of hat he wears. He always wears this beanie. I call it a beanie. I'm not sure exactly what it is. He may have one on right now. But he's been a tennis professional. He's been a club owner. He's been a tennis director. He has been a long-time volunteer in many different phases, a humanitarian. Whenever Tommy leaves a situation, he always leaves it better than when he found it. He's tireless with his time. He's tireless with his energy. You know when you're on the court with him that he wants to be there.
What I feel like I got from John and others like him in our community was the fact how much he gave back to the game. And so I always appreciated that. And because I was helped along by the Corpus Christi Tennis Association, and he was one of those people that always pitched in, always volunteered. He loves kids, and he really, that was his mission, was to help grow the game, to help the youth in Corpus Christi. And he did so many great things for our community. He was very instrumental in getting tournaments here to Corpus. I mean, we've had so many great tournaments here, Southwest Conference, NCAA championships, the Handsome Eight back then. Very instrumental in getting this raised seating area that we have here at HEB. He's just got a great tennis background, you know, and just a great guy to be around, and just very appreciative of all he's done for tennis, not only in Corpus, but in Texas.
Beverly is special because of the passion and the love that she gives for the game of tennis. It is not just a game, it is a sport of a lifetime. Beverly in Texas has touched not only the players at UT, which is still very active with the University of Texas team, but also touching people's lives in the club level, in the junior level. When she goes on the tennis court, she just gives it everything she's got. She gives 110%, feeding, talking, admiring the people, giving positive comments. I have never seen Beverly talk bad about anybody. I never talked negative about a stroke. It's always been the positivism that she brings on the tennis court that makes it so good. When Beverly walks on the tennis court, either competitive or teaching, she's not only giving back to the game, she's thinking, I want to make an impact on your life today, so you can remember me as a fun tennis coach and a friend.
Well, I nominated my dad because he was kind of a pioneer in the field of collegiate tennis coaching in the state of Texas, and on a national level also. He was the first to start recruiting foreign players. He started that back in the 50s, which was unheard of at the time, and so he was able to recruit some phenomenal tennis players. He took Lamar University, it was Lamar Tech at the time. He took that school from basically an unknown to a national power in tennis. And then he was my tennis coach. It was another reason I wanted to nominate him, is because he coached me when I was in college. It was really great because he expects a lot from his players, and he expected a lot for them to practice and compete. It was an honor. It was an honor to play for my father.
I think the first time I met Frank was when we were both on the management committee, probably both of our first years. It was very interesting because he was a very quiet guy, but he's kind of like E.F. Hutton. When Frank spoke, everybody seemed to listen. So he took kind of a quiet, observing perspective and role, and then when appropriate, he would speak. So I always remember him in that way on the management committee. Frank is the kind of guy I'd say he's a person you can go to and ask for help, He's a great mentor. He's a great teacher of the game and of people. And so I think he's one of those kind of people that you could always turn to when you need a little bit of help or a little bit of assistance. He cares about people and he cares about the game, and the two together make him just, you know, one of those kind of people that you want to be around, that you respect, and that you know that he cares about you and others as well. He puts other people before himself.
He is one of our best suppliers when we need t-shirts, tennis balls. Obviously he sells equipment, rackets and things, so he's one of the first people that we would go to when we needed something for a tournament or fundraiser or anything like that, and he's always ready to do it. Before he had Tennis Outlet, he had the pro shop at one of the country clubs here, and we would go over there as soon as he got a shipment in, and that's probably my favorite memory is shopping with Terry, because he would call us, and as women we would run over there and we would buy all of whatever he got in, because at the time he was the only supplier of tennis attire in Lubbock. Terry has been great with SPTA, which is our CTA in Lubbock, and he's supplied t-shirts, he's supplied balls, he's supplied anything that we have needed, and he's been a very good source for us to go to. I really don't know some of the things what we would do without him, because he has been our go-to person.
Eric's really important to tennis in Lubbock, Texas. Not only does he run a club, he runs the Falls tennis program, but he also runs several pro-ams. This past year, he ran the pro-am for the Team League Tennis Classic. The year before, we didn't even have it because we couldn't get it together, but when Eric steps in, he takes care of everything, and he does that and commits hours and hours of volunteer work to do things like that goes towards a good cause when he doesn't have to do it. So he will go out of his way to help the community. He's trying to reach as many young kids and get them involved in tennis as he possibly can. We wouldn't have Future Stars if Eric wasn't in Lubbock. He's the one who started the whole thing, and so we have a Future Stars tournament every single month. So he's very important to player development in Lubbock. He's always in good spirits, and it's a joy to be around him.
I've known Matt, I guess maybe about the last 7 or 8 years, and over that time we've gotten to be really good friends and develop a pretty good bond. What makes him a good pro is the way he connects with his members and his clients. He just builds such a strong, trusting relationship that just lasts and people can really connect with. He's just so fun. He's a really fun person to be around, and you know, that's kind of contagious. Matt was at Colonial for 12 or 13 years, did an incredible job there, built a really good program. Then he moved on to T-Bar-M, where he's thrived. I mean, he's taken on a kind of a new role for him as membership director, and they love him there. He's done a lot for the USPTA. He's done a lot for just tennis in general. You know, he's been around the game a long time. He's very knowledgeable. He's good at what he does. I hope he continues to do what he's doing. The game needs people like him, and I hope he continues to stick with it for a long time.
I'm grateful to have been touched by Sammy in so many ways, but I want to share one in particular. Sammy organized a series of outstanding tournaments that I played in at his club. Sammy made sure all felt welcome, not only with his ever-present caring smile, but also with his tendency to have a barbecue grill as part of the tournament, in which every participant will get a free lunch cooked by Sammy himself. In one of his tournaments, I'd been fortunate enough to make the final, and my opponent-to-be withdrew due to injury. I thought I was done, and was surprised to see Sammy himself take the court. He simply could not let the tournament end without a match for the finalist. Needless to say, the final was one-sided. Sammy, true to form as a national champion and a top 20 pro, decimated me. But I'm forever grateful for the memories and lessons learned in that incredible match. He's been a leader in Texas tennis and a role model to me and my family.
Jared came in, and the very first thing that he did is that we walked the property, and he said, "I have fresh eyes, and I want to see it today so that we can go through, find all the things that need to be fixed, and then we get them fixed." So whenever Jared came to the club, that was a part we were worried that he would be really focused on the golf course, and but they the club decided to hire a manager that thought that the whole club needed attention, and Jared does that. He focuses on every aspect, and being the head pro at the club, the next step above me is the general manager, so everything that I do goes through Jared. So any crazy idea that I have that I want to get accomplished, I got to convince him of it to get it done. Jared has been really great in facilitating getting my ideas accomplished. When I need money, I go to Jared, but he's also done a really good job of taking care of the pros and the staff and making us feel like we're welcome.
As a coach and as a player that Tony has taken us to nationals, it requires a lot of concentration, a lot of motivation, and he just has an incredible desire to want to win and want to be the best at that sport. Not only has he put his own personal time and energy into creating the teams and recruiting players and paying for folks that don't have enough money to make to make it to the trips that they take through national. Not only on the men's side, but also on the mixed doubles side. He was very active in our community and around the city, sponsoring mixed doubles teams as well. His wife Hilda has been a player along with him for the last 30, 40 years. He will be your best friend and the first handshake and the first set on the courts. I think just somebody that you'd like to be your friend.
Her main idea is to try to get the sport to everybody. Those who plays, those who doesn't have played yet, the young, the old, the poor, the rich. All her excitement about and her love about this sport just totally caught me, and I wanted to help. We had this play day. It was more advocacy for the city, and we just out of the blue just start putting these net courts that you can move around, and we put them right there on the street. And I just saw how she really enjoyed having the tennis being played on the street, literally on the street, with people who never had a racket on her hands before, and people who just looked at their children and felt that it was possible for them. Probably that's my favorite memory with her regarding tennis.
What makes my dad such a great facility manager is that he cares about little things. The experience, about the whole experience of being at his facility. So if that means he's having 100 ladies come for a tennis tournament at 7 a.m., he's there at 5 a.m. making sure the tennis courts are clean, making sure the bathrooms are clean. He's dedicated to the sport of tennis and dedicated to his employees. From the big things of making sure that we get the coolest tennis court with the new Italian clay that just came in, down to making sure that the towels are folded right and every detail is taken care of. It all comes back to he's extremely dedicated to tennis, to the experience, to our family, to my mom, and it's not anything shallow. It is work ethic, dedication to whatever he's doing.
He's very passionate about making sure that the players understand the rules and that they feel like he's not being pushy or anything like that. He is very genuine in how he works with other officials, works with the tournament directors, and talks to the players. And they can see that, and they appreciate that he's taking that time and that special feeling that he gives to them. Well, I probably met Kevin back in the late mid-'80s at the USPTA convention one year, and I happened to be doing a session on working with people with disabilities, and I had put together this video about some athletes that I first started working with back in 1984. And after the video, I looked up and Kevin had tears. And so I knew I had him hooked from there. And ever since then, we've had this awesome brother-sister relationship.
Our basic goal is to get kids to play tennis at all levels and to keep on playing tennis in school, out of school, after school. And so, I mean, Tony's background's from a country club setting, so when he came here, he wants those kids to continue playing for a lifetime. Tony's played forever, and I think it's good that we can try to grow the game together, and it's been successful. His excitement level, I'd say his excitability to become the new coach and what he wanted to do with the team and his expectations. And Tony was just like a little spark plug that just wanted to go. So that's what I remember most, because he loves tennis, he loves the game. I mean, he wants to share that passion with other kids. So if he can get even just 10% of those kids involved with continued tennis, then I think he did his job successfully.
Peter is a total workhorse. I mean, if there was something that staff couldn't do, which a lot of times there's quite a bit, he was willing to hop in 2 feet and get it all done, and he would stay up all night, and he was typically the last person I spoke to and the first person I spoke to every day. And I kind of actually had this joke with my family that I only had 3 phone numbers memorized. It was my husband, my mother, and Peter Farrell's. I think he just cares about making everything better. If there was something that needed to be made better that we just honestly didn't have the time or resources for, he was willing to do it. Working on Grand Slam draws on a Sunday, probably for 11 hours in a conference room, and it was brutal. And at the end of the day, we just all kind of looked at each other half dazed and just started laughing. And I thought, you know, he's a volunteer. He's not getting paid to do this. I was getting paid. I was getting comp time. He got like a pat on the back, and that was amazing to me.
Well, the first time I was coaching tennis at Weatherford, and he came in, he moved back into Weatherford his senior year. So I was very fortunate that he added that skill level to our team. He was always smiling. He was always eager to play and to compete. He certainly liked to win, but he just loved to be out there to play. And he was definitely a team player. He always supported our team. And I was very fortunate, and the team was very fortunate to have him there his senior year. One of the things that, well, recently, or in the last several years, when he teaches his young kids, I always get kind of tickled. One of the questions he'll ask the youth is, "Are you having fun?" And of course, the kids will say, "Sure." And he says, "Well, let's stop it." And the kids always fall down laughing just because he would come back with that kind of an answer to them. So it's just, he plays around, but the kids know that, and they really like him. He's very easy to be drawn to, especially with the young kids. He's once he makes contact and says a few things, they are spellbound by his eagerness to associate with him and to teach this game that he has grown up with and loved, and that's what's key. Rocky, I've known you many, many years, from the senior year of your high school all the way up to the present. I'm very proud of you. I admire you, and we hope to have many, many years to go.